Okay, where were we at?
Yeah, where were we?
I don't know. I ran around the house turning off electronics.
Oh man. Well, you know.
Um.
Well, I
Uh.
guess this would be an interesting a thought that I always want to ask people, which is what tribe do you think in terms of once it comes back, what tribe do you think needs the most work?
Uh.
And why is
Danian.
it Marillion? Oh,
Danians or Mepedians. I think Danians or Mepedians. I feel like Marillions,
really?
there's not really any area to explore since they're back in the deep mines. I mean, like, unless you, like, reintroduce, like, another section. Like, I personally think the Frozen are, like, a subset of the Marillions, so, I mean, like, that could be a way of doing it. But, like,
Oh,
well, I mean, like, Chaotic is all about foreshadowing. Like, Chaotic, there's so much foreshadowing in Chaotic, it's crazy, right?
right.
And so, the first time we see a Marillion, what was he?
Like it was fell for.
Yeah, and he was frozen in ice.
Oh.
And then, if we cut to Glacier Plains, like the war in Glacier Plains, right? On the front lines of the war, of the actual, like, final battle, right? What tribe was missing from the battle? The Frozen.
What's it like to have like a thick, heavy brain?
It just makes
Like
sense.
shoulders that constantly hurt.
It just makes sense to me, right? Like we're like it's like you're the Frozen they live in Glacier Plains. We know it to be true. Like we know they live in Glacier Plains, right? Um,
Right.
and they weren't fighting in the war against the Marillions. But
Yeah, no.
if they were Marillions, why would they need to?
Yeah.
So I was like,
Or unless the Frozen is like a subset of Marillions that are like, no, we don't want any part of this.
I mean, it's not like the Marillions don't have like a lot of like different subsets already. Like they have the Azai, they have the the fluid morphers. You have the
Yeah.
chieftains, and like there could very easily be like a section of Marillions that just like didn't go into the deep mines, or like a couple
Yeah.
of Marillions like had a bunch of offspring that like didn't go into and they didn't go in the deep mines, kind of thing, right? Like that's what I personally think. Like that's the only way you could really
Right.
reintroduce the Marillions, in my opinion, is like outside of like the odd Marillion that didn't go back into the deep mines and allied themselves with the tribes, like Nuncorn got assimilated, and then there's another Marillion in the Mopedum Oasis. I can't remember which one it was though. Because it was like Peyton and them all freaked out when they saw him, and it was like, and the Mopedian was like, no, 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 that's cool. He's on my side. We're cool.
Yeah, he's actually cool, and then it's like, what?
Like Mopedi, like you're telling me Marillions can be good? Like
Right?
that's just such a like a subversion of expectations. Like it's like
Feels so foreign.
yeah, like it's like it makes sense that they could be, because I mean like
Yeah.
you can't just have like an entire tribe that's evil, just like you can't have an entire tribe that's nice. I mean, we saw oh my god, the Scorpion Overworlder. Um,
Slurk or
yeah,
Slurk, whatever the hell. That
he
guy.
the one that was in the show for like one episode, right? Like the
And
only
he
time,
eats people.
yeah. Like like I mean, and then I guess you could say like Dractyl's kind of like
Yeah.
Dractyl kind of
Yeah,
like
Dracula's kind of his own thing.
yeah.
But he's helped Maxor.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, Chaor's helped Max.
That's absolutely a fair point.
I mean, technically, if you think about it, Lord Von Blut has helped Maxor.
Yeah, by battling Chaor.
I mean, honestly, who hasn't helped
Yeah.
Maxor at this point?
God, right. Man, Maxor, you freeloader.
Yeah, for real. No, seriously. Name one time that Maxor doesn't get bailed out by somebody else.
Yeah, well, actually, no. He rocked Rasmus's shit.
I mean, the old man who was infected by a parasite.
Listen, it's still cool.
I
He
mean,
went, if Maxor, okay, so, but that's like, then we're like arguing, like, is Maxor even a good leader? He wouldn't be in his position if he wasn't.
I mean, nepotism.
Yeah, you know what? That's absolutely
I mean, I don't think Maxor's bad, but like, I mean, they did like he did was a part of the whole plan to like obviously overthrow to beat Ani, and also planned for Chaor to invade Kiru City to take the Telebracers. Like, obviously he's not stupid or bad as a leader, but I mean, I'm just saying like he gets bailed out a lot. Like
he sure does.
you remember that one time Tom bailed him out when the terror when
Yeah,
yeah.
human.
I'm just saying, if a human is bailing you out and you lead an entire country of creatures, you're doing something wrong, buddy.
Yeah, he ain't Major Tom. He's Major Plot Armor.
For real. It's really funny that like everything major is happening in chaotic now that Tom got his transmit. Like, I get like story wise, like that's how you tell the story is you introduce the main character and then everything happens around the main character. But like,
Right.
it's so funny that it's all happening like right after, like in terms of the show. In terms of the show, Tom gets his transport code, and immediately everything goes crazy. If I were
Yeah,
the
everything goes kind of like tits up for him.
if I was the Codemasters, I'd be going like, I'm not saying that everything that's going crazy has always been around Tom, but
But there's like a strong, yeah. No, and and it's funny. Speaking of the humans, right? Like, there's no question. Payne has to be the best player, right?
who?
Peyton?
Oh, Peyton. I think you said Payne. I was like, I don't know who. I don't know who that is. No,
No, this is not Powerline Ultra.
I don't think Peyton's the best player. I think Peyton's like the most
Really?
creative player, but like I think there's a certain point where creativity isn't enough. I feel like honestly, like I feel like if Tom isn't the best player, he's on his track to become the best player. I feel like that's the way that the story is like being written, where it's like
Right.
Tom is the tryhard. He's like he's like the I have the goal of beating all the Codemasters and facing the Grand Codemaster. I'm gonna beat all the Codemasters and face the Grand Codemaster. Whereas Peyton's just
You
kind of like,
know,
I'm in a chaotic world with my lizard bros.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find him a.
Anyway,
I'm gonna go find him a Pedian cactus.
I think about you were talking about like a Grand Codemaster. I saw like a lot of theories as like a little boy, and I kind of want your take. If there is a like final Codemaster kind of deal, who do you think it is?
Okay, so Dragonix spoiled that there is a Grand Codemaster. That's the only reason I know the
Yeah,
term. But I don't think it's a player we've seen yet. I think if there is a Grand Codemaster like in the show, and I think like if we get to see them, I think it's going to be it will either A be an iteration of the Cothica, or B it will be a player or a character that hasn't even been teased yet. It's going to be one of the two. Like, I don't think it's a character we've seen on screen, or it's the
I
or it's like a embodiment of Cothica kind of thing.
I saw this theory once that what if because Afjack was so obsessed with humans and human technology, what if he's like the grand codemaster and he invented the scanners and he got everything, like he time traveled and got that all figured out and he's the final codemaster
Oh, I don't like that. That's I
because
think
the port court does exist in Perim, like creatures can access it. It's why they don't. That's where it gets a little tricky. And it's like, well, what if Afjack was like some badass Muge, like nobody could get in there because he has some sort of music that protects them or something.
I
And
think
I read that and I'm like, that is a hilarious idea. How cool would that be? Like Nadrin's like, oh my boy, and then Tom's like, yeah, I whooped his ass last week, and then he's like, what?
I think Afjack got ported further into the past. I don't think he got ported into the future. I think he got ported further into the
Crazy would
past.
that be?
Hmm.
How crazy would that be? He got way like even further behind.
Well, yeah. I mean, like if you think about it,
And he's
right?
like, he's Nadrin's dad.
Did we ever see anybody put Dranikish Threshold, like use Dranikish Threshold in the past? Because I feel like
Yeah, right.
outside of Afjack, I feel like we only ever saw them go from the future to the past. We never saw them use the threshold to go from the past to
It's
the
go
future.
even further,
Yeah, so I personally my theory is like he went further into the past.
right? And but see, then we start asking, okay, how far back? Because we have the client sphere to use as reference. Because the client sphere, as far as the lore is concerned, technically it's not the earliest thing to happen in chaotic. But in terms of what we know in a canonical sense, that is the furthest that we've seen. Um, Even back when there was like a singular high mage and not a council of them. Uh, how wild would it be if Halfjack went that far back?
That would be absolutely wild. Or what if you ended up being the person to like like helped like create the term high muge?
Or like the term of it? There actually is there is an answer to that in the Kallian sphere. As a matter of fact, I have it written down here. Let's see here.
I haven't read the sphere yet. I keep telling myself I'll read it next week, and then I never read it.
You ought to. You ought to. Here we go. So not the first high mage, but it is outright like stated and spoken about in order in terms of like the original high muges and all that. There's Ornor, who is a high mage of the overworld who discovered Kaizef, the floating city, to begin with. He's considered one of the greatest magicians in all of Perim history, being the latest of singular high mage with no additional tribes. Before him, there was Drillanak, who was a high mage female Danian. Before her, there was Sidek, who is a Mepedian high mage. And before them was Zartak, who is an overworld. Or no, sorry. Sidek is where it ends. So we don't know if Sidek had like a mentor of his own or whatever. But the idea of like, oh, a high mage got passed down title wise and it went from tribe to tribe to tribe to tribe without like repeating them. That'd be fascinating if like the first high mage was Afjack.
I feel like it'd be like a really cool way not to reintroduce Afjack into the story because obviously at that point like he's dead. like if we're talking
He's dead.
like yeah like
Dead.
I mean he was dead before like he's either dead now lost in like time or he's sent so far back into the past that he or he's been sent so far back in the past that he just was dead by the time they got back to the past like
Yeah.
the future past. Yeah.
Which I think that's the kind of is a fun segue for at least for me to ask you anyway. Uh, what's your favorite tribe?
Underworlders.
Underworld. That see
Listen,
see we're
if
united in that aspect.
if my opponent is dead, I don't need to fight them. It's that easy. If I kill
Yeah.
them, they can't hit me.
And so I guess that leads into what's your least favorite tribe and why is it Danian?
Honestly, okay, gameplay wise, it's Overworlders. I hate Overworlders.
Really? Why?
I feel like 90% of the most broken things in the game, if not more than 90%, probably like 98% of the most broken thing. Like I think outside of Von Blut, very specifically Von Blut and Zamul. I think 90%, no, everything else that's wrong with Chaotic is Overworlders.
Break it down. I want to hear your input.
They have too much sustain. Their music pool is so diverse that you don't know what's going to happen at any given point in the game. You can't really, because like you can go, okay, they have 1 to 2 counters for my music. They could have 6 counters for your music. Like there's no limit to like what they could do with their music really. And then like they have so much built-in heal and damage reduction. You have Arbeed who can reduce stuff by down to 5 damage. You have melody not melody you have I can't remember the name of the attacks, but they reduce there's like 2 negate attacks or there's like 1 or 2 negate attacks inside Overworlders.
No.
And then they have the most healing in terms of music that there really is in the game. Then a lot of creatures they have built-in healing. And then they also, if all of that wasn't enough, they have Rhyme of the Reckless. So if you are actually
Oh my
able to
God.
kill their opponent, if you are actually able to kill their creature, you die too. They have so many tools that it leads to an unfair play advantage for anybody not playing Overworlders. Like everybody likes to complain about Underworlders are too strong, but like realistically speaking, like Underworlders can burn through like if I drop all of my music turn 1, right?
Yeah.
Underworlders can burn through probably like 160 energy. 160 energy. Overworlders for
Yeah.
less music can heal for more than that.
No, with Overworlders, I'm sort of in a similar ballpark, and likewise, I can't help but feel like one thing that I've always wanted to see was a revamp of the starter decks, like for each tribe. But I'm also in the same camp of I want a Marillion deck because a lot of the times it seemed like they wanted to attack your disciplines. What if like you had a Marillion that was like I mean they're granted there is ones that's like oh instead of dealing damage you deal damage to their disciplines once they reach zero they die that kind of thing. I can't help but go like that can only take you so far. What if like you had like specific Marillions where it's like you deal damage and you chalk up their disciplines. I feel like something like that would kind of push Marillions closer towards like worth looking into, but a lot of people just kind of ignore them because they don't do something like that.
Yeah.
You have to like set up a very specific team to do that, and I feel like a lot of people are turned off by that idea because they're like, I want to build a team that's unique to me, and granted that's fair, but I feel like that hurts Marillions at the end of the day because you have to do that.
Yeah, you start deck building and you're like, okay, well, so I need Gantrak. And then everything else just builds itself, and you're like, I need another one that deals extra damage or the challenge that has the challenge wisdom, like Eric Tab and stuff like that, right? And then you're like, and then you end up looking at it, and you're like, okay, well, I have three creatures, and it's locked in very specifically to a specific set of these three creatures, because I
Yeah.
chose Eric Tab or I chose the other ones, which I can't pronounce Brilliant names, so I'm not even gonna try.
I mean it is what it is.
And then there's like,
Oh, and
and then Ani. Obviously, you're locked into like Ani.
I have a funny video idea that I've been wanting to do forever, and I'm convincing my grandma to do it with me. Yeah, of all people, 'cause she's like my mom. She raised me, and she knows what chaotic is. She's super into it. I want to sit her down with like a list of creatures and go like, "Can you pronounce their name?" And it started because I was talking to her about Ani, and then I was like, "So how do you think it's spelled?" And she spelled it like wildly wrong, and then I showed her back, like I spelled it out, and I gave it to her, and she goes, "That's wrong."
What
I'm like, "Chaotic's full of those."
one of my like least favorite things is whenever I hear somebody pronounce like a Mepedian creature, and I'm like, I want to look it up, but at the same time, I know if I go to search it, I will spell it wrong.
Like, oh my god, like it's not so the creature that's spelled Wun. I thought that was Quan for the longest time. It's Qun. And I'm like, what? Why is what? It blew my mind. And then I watched the show and I'm like, oh my god, that really is like a key to figuring out how the hell you pronounce some of these creatures. Like I found out it's Slufra, the Underworlder Mage. Like his name's Slufra. I didn't realize that. I thought it was like Sulfura, like sulfur.
Oh,
Does that make sense to me?
we were literally
Whatever.
just talking about that. Is it really
Yeah,
Slafira? Oh my god.
it's yeah, 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 it's Slufra, and I'm like, okay.
I just I don't know why I just read it as Sulfura. It just looks more
Like that
right.
just makes sense.
Yeah.
Like Ani, like I thought it was Ayun, and I'm like, okay.
See, the only reason I remember Ani is because I watched the Ani fight with Maxor and Chaor
Yes.
like 20
I'm like,
times
why?
and like one setting, and now it's stuck in my head because I just kept going Ani, 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 and I'm like, I'm never forgetting this. I just can't. Like if I
And
were
I
to,
mean, no, go on.
no, 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 you're saying something. You're saying something. You're saying something.
Oh no, I was gonna say like one of my favorite things in that whole episode was Chaor screaming "Yo Imparu." Something like that's so funny to me is like he had to have learned that from a human, right? Just saying the word "yo." So it's for me it's like a weird character development moment that lasts like a fraction of a second.
That's kind of funny. That's kind of funny.
It's beautiful. So now I gotta know. I know your favorite tribe. I know your least favorite deck. I gotta know your favorite and least favorite creature.
My favorite creature by far, Rage Trod.
Rage Trod, really?
So it started as a joke. I bought a starter deck and I was using Rage Trot as the main attacker at the point with my playgroup because
Right.
it was just two starter decks essentially, right? And I was like I was using it as the main attacker, and I 6-0'd my brother using Rage Trot as the only thing entering combat. I just 6-0'd him, and he was like, okay, this is stupid. This is absolutely stupid. I was like, yeah, Rage Trot's pretty cool. I like this. And then as I was building up my deck, I started budget obviously, so I went like Rage Trot, Brimflame, Ulu. And I just kept using Rage Trot as like the main thing, and it just turned into like, okay, this is just my favorite creature now because like my entire playgroup is just scared shitless of the concept of Rage Trot.
For me, like Rage Trod is high up there for me, but like one that like I feel like a lot of people like tend to sleep on is Rothar.
Yeah.
Like he is so freaking cool. And then like we got Forceful Negotiator, which I have my original copy, as a matter of fact, right here. Like he was insane. Like he's got three elements, 65 courage, 110 power, 50 wisdom, 60 speed, 75 energy. Like this thing's insane. And it's like, oh, it must move to an adjacent spot. Whatever. So it's Deadly Fighter Breakclaw from Duel Masters, supercharged, and he's gonna like punch you in the throat. It's awesome.
Easy top 10. Easy top 10.
Yeah, like no, and he's sick. And like in the episode with Hammer Doom, it's like you know how soon can you start the match, and he goes like, he goes like immediate is not soon enough. It's like this guy's got balls.
And then he immediately loses to Hamburger. Feels
Yep,
bad.
he's got granite balls.
Yeah, feels bad. Feels bad.
Feels bad. Feels bad.
My least favorite.
Oh my god.
My least favorite creature is
I
Gantrak, though. I hate Gantrak.
I really Gantrak.
Yeah.
How come?
I just hate playing against it. I just absolutely hate playing against it. It's like
You know what? That's absolutely honest.
because it's one of those creatures where it's like if they have a specific attack and you're not playing Overworlders, there is no counterplay. You just lose.
Yeah.
It's like okay, you play an attack, reduce all my disciplines to 0, and then Gantrak immediately kills me. I had fun.
Yeah. Thoughts on Mishmash Mish?
Mishmash Mish. That's the Overworld Underworlder Yakis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Underworlder Yakis. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I like him. I like the idea. I like the idea of every tribe having a Yakis. To be honest, I feel like gag characters are really important in shows. Just to say they don't take themselves too seriously.
You know, I wonder what for each tribe, right? What does a Mepedian, Danian, Marillion, and even tribeless Mishmash Mish look like?
Okay, so Danian is Wama.
Is it? It's got to be a funky little creature.
Wama's a funky little creature.
Wama is like 7 feet tall.
Wama's a funky little creature. I don't know what you're talking about.
Wama's a Chad, though.
He just keeps failing. He's like Buggy from One Piece. Okay, he just keeps failing
fails
upwards.
Yeah.
It takes him literally like breaking people out of jail to get punished, and then he's happy he gets punished. He's like, I got demoted. Let's go. Less responsibilities.
Yeah. And that's kind of like and that's where Wama is sitting, because he's like, listen, I don't know how I got here, but I'm somehow the president of the United States.
Turn around, and there's no longer a queen of the hive. There is now Wama. Wama is in charge.
It's like the Obama, like, I believe pictures, but it's Wama.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Wow. So what would a Mepedian one be?
I think honestly any Mepedian could fill the role of I think other than like the royal family, I feel like any Mepedian, just you seeing how they interact with Peyton, I feel like any of them could fill the role. Like all of them seem pretty chill.
Bro. It's got to be a dude, bro, right?
Yeah, I mean like we saw the episode where Peyton was doing the scan quest, right?
Yeah.
And it's like he was like fist bumping Mepedians. I feel like if any Mipedian who fist bumped him is automatically in run for to be Yakus.
Yeah, they're rounding in the office.
Like,
People who are watching this video, I want to know who's the mishmash mish of the Mepedian.
I can't even think
Well,
of
we all know who the Marillion one is. It's the one that's nice.
I mean, they literally were pranking the humans. I mean, yeah, there's no
He's gotta be the mishmash mish of the Marillion.
has to be. Like, there's no way it's not. And then the tribeless, honestly, I say Smilden. I think Smilden will get a sense of humor when he comes back.
Either him or Proboscar. I really, really want to say Ariak, but we've never seen Ariak in the wild, so we have no idea what his personality really is like.
Yeah, I feel like Smilden just
But
became like so hardened because of the blight. I feel like whenever like we see him again, he's gonna be lighthearted and jovial.
oh my god, could you imagine like Smilden like outside his place with like swim shorts, shades, and he's like, Shakaza.
Now, I'm not saying that you know Ganon, but I am saying if you could get him to put Smilden in a swimsuit with with sunglasses.
Milsuit.
Name better promotional material for the Tribeless Returns set. Name better promotional material.
It's so funny you talk about promotional material. I still think that we should have like the 90s 80s style, like magazine style ads where it's like it's kind of corny, but like that kind of gives it its charm.
Like the whole like they're in an underground like area playing chaotic kind of thing.
Either that or like in like ads it's like you've never had an experience like this, and it's like a kid literally being like sucked into like a computer or something.
I'm
Like
dead.
obviously like something super exaggerated, but like I don't know. I feel like we're in a maturity level now in society where we can handle it again.
Yeah, I feel like right now like the lightheartedness of like we're self-aware. Like I feel like that's needed nowadays.
Oh, absolutely. It's got to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it would also just be good. Like, Chaotic's already going to be playing at the nostalgia of Chaotic, right? Like, go all in.
Yeah, just make it feel as like early 2000s as possible. Like the second we cut to Sarah, it's like feel your skin, no one else can feel it for you. Like I wanted to feel like we're back in that era. I don't know.
Now,
Maybe I'm just nostalgia blind to it, but I think that'd be fun.
now, you guys may have thought that I cut that out in editing, but actually,
Yeah,
the mic actually
keep it
cut that
in.
out. No, the mic cut out like bits and pieces of that. So if the copywriter just tried to detect it, I'm like, you guys may think that was me that cut it out, but actually, the mic was like, we'll save you.
Little did the mic realize that I sound exactly like the song, so
Yep.
everyone can't hear my wonderful singing voice.
No, I'm gonna clip the song over. I'm gonna clip the song over you singing it,
Oh, perfect.
and then it's just literally gonna sound like you sounding like it. Let's do it.
Oh, there we go.
Okay,
There it
actually,
is. We made it happen.
I'm not actually gonna do that because copyright, but I thought, but I did think about it. YouTube, I did think about it.
At least for a second.
The thought was there. It's the thought that
It was.
counts.
It was.
No, I genuinely would like to. Honestly, I think I would want that more than any other kind of promotional material. I feel like nothing could be better
More
than that.
software.
Hmm?
Have you, speaking of like the commercials and things like that, have you ever seen the original Yu-Gi-Oh! American commercials?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god. We're like kids are like going to like a warehouse, right? And it's dark and like
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking
there's
about
one-
when you said it. I was like, dude, do it.
oh my god, like, and I just think like that one scene where the kid's like playtime's over and then like summons Exodia and it's like, oh, I would kill for something like that for Chaotic. That would be cool.
They walk up to like a table and like like they like start placing their cards face down and they like as they go to flip it like one flips up Chaor, one flips up Maxor and they go, let's get chaotic. I'm just saying.
Oh my god. Or
I'm
you
just
do
saying,
it you do it
absolute
realistically, like that would be perfect. I just think about it like once you have the card set up and like you flip it over, you make it realistic and like a card flies away and you're like, shit, you didn't see that. Trying to like
You accidentally
about
drop
it.
one of the attacks from your hand and now they see that you have an attack.
Yeah, and you're like, shit.
Chaotic promo material in real life. Let's do it.
Oh my god, it's got it. Oh, Oh, did you ever? Were you ever around with the energy drinks?
I wasn't, but I've seen them.
Can I tell you? I've drank them when I was a little boy because I was like, "Oh, it's probably soda." And then after I drank it, I saw like energy drink on it, and I remember two thoughts came to mind, which is one, why is this a thing? And secondly, this is pretty damn good.
Dude, I hope that they do another run because I would love to try them. Honestly,
Oh my God.
honestly I might just buy one and try it anyways. What could happen?
That yeah, what could possibly go wrong? You drink and you get like a third eye.
I'm just saying, if I make a video on me drinking those and it doesn't get at least 5 views, I'm gonna be very upset.
My thing, you know what? After this, I'll find out where you live. I'll fly over and we'll do like a blind taste test. And if it doesn't make my tattoos glow when I drink it like Maxor does, I'm gonna be sad.
If I can't shoot ice balls after I drink it, I will be very upset.
Yeah, directly from your eyeballs.
If I can't shoot a lavalanche out of my hands, we were scammed.
If I can't do like that fire nipple attack that Chaor did when I drink his drink, I don't want it.
I'm just saying, if I take a drink of the Power Pulse energy drink and I cannot shoot a Power Pulse, Red Bull
Yeah, if
didn't
I
give
can't,
me wings, I'm gonna be disappointed too.
yeah, listen, if I can't shoot Green Lantern like fists out of my hands, I don't want it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I was just thinking about this too. Like, oh, what promotional material should Chaotic have? Like Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and Pokemon all have like really, really nice effect statues. Could you imagine what a Chaotic statue would look like?
Like, what kind of are we talking like how Pokemon has like the statues at Worlds and stuff like that, or
Think of it like oh, I let's see if there's a ready example around here.
are you
Well, I guess this will do just fine.
are you talking about
Here
like
we go.
display statues?
Like a statuette, like this like Saberwolf from Killer Instinct, for instance. Uh, like a cool like figure statue. Like,
Okay, not like a full-on statue, like a death statue kind of thing.
oh my god, if there was like a full on statue of Chaor, oh my god,
Listen,
I make it my religion.
I'm not saying if I walked into Chaotic USA Entertainment and I don't see a life-size KO statue that I'm going to be disappointed, but I will say that I'm going to be very sad.
An 11-foot tall demon like statue.
If it
Heck yeah.
if it fits inside the building, I'm going to be very upset.
You know, it's a lot like how outside of Blizzard HQ they have like a giant like orc statue or whatever the heck it is. Like that's awesome.
Exactly. If that's not sitting outside of Chaotic USA Entertainment, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah, right? I just pulled up the well Blizzard actually has like a few statues. Yeah, here we go. So if we do, yeah, so they have like two statues. One's from World of Warcraft and the other is StarCraft. Like this is awesome. Could you imagine like statues like that but for chaotic?
Honestly, that's what I want. That's what I want. If there isn't a statue exactly like this of the Vile Driver right outside Chaotic the
Oh,
HQ, I mean, I'm just saying, Chaor
I
on the Vile Driver.
or like Max or like Protector of Power, like where he's got like a Marillion tentacle by one hand, he's about to like deck it in the face. Oh, that'd be sick.
Okay, actually, we'll go easy, Bluegon, because it's Ganon's favorite creature, Bluegon. We'll
I can't get over like I understand it definitely just was a product of the time, but like, come on, you could have done better than Blue Gone for Blue, right?
see. I'm more like surprised that Bluegon is his favorite creature, but then again, my favorite creature is Rage Strahd, so I'm not really allowed to insult people's favorite creatures.
See, it's just not what I thought it would be.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I would have thought it would have been like one of the smart characters, like one of the smart characters like Nadrin or something like that. Like Bluegon was so far out of left field when I heard that.
I thought he was gonna give like the cop out answer, like Maxor is my favorite. To be fair though, Chaor is one of my favorites. To be fair, but at the same time, like I don't know, Blue God's just not what I would have imagined.
Yeah, I mean, I get like he named Bluegon, so I mean like there's that, but it's like
Yeah,
I'm just saying like Bluegon, really? Like
yeah, right.
out of all the creatures, Bluegon. Not to
I,
criticize,
I'm
I
not,
mean, because people can like what they like, but it's just like
yeah,
it's just weird for me because it's like Bluegon hasn't done anything really important in the plot, kind of thing.
right.
Which
It's I
which
mean
is
he's like Beast from X-Men, but He-Man.
yeah, he's also like the second character, well, like probably like the sixth or seventh character we actually hear whose name is in a conversation. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say like I did a video about it. Like it was kind of like one of the first creatures mentioned by name.
yeah, there was like Chaor, Dracnus, there was Cougar, Hearing,
Hearing,
Maxor, and Bluegon. And those are the first like few mentioned in like the first couple minutes of the show. And I was
and of
like,
course Takinom.
oh yeah, yeah, Takinom too. Takinom too, obviously, because like the very, I mean, like after like the you may be wondering how I got here, like scene.
Right.
Also, by the way, that like I don't care what's going on. That will always be peak like storytelling of like, you may be wondering how I got here.
Right. Like for me, it's like it's not even just like oh, you get a rough idea of what's going on. To me, it just feels like it's perfect flavoring because it's like oh, they got to this amazing position. How did it happen? And then that's the story. Like that's pretty sick.
Yeah. So we talked about the survey, we talked about the revival of the chaotic community, we talked a little about the San Diego Comic Con. I think we've
Yeah.
covered most of the bases people would have wanted to hear us talk about. Unless you wanna break that NDA of your no, I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
I'm
If
kidding.
only. You
Um,
know, I guess for me it's like I guess like for me a final thought would be like what do you hope to see in the revival?
like me, personally,
Yeah. Yeah.
I are we talking about like just the announcement or like revival like that when it happens?
Everything. Like whether like once the game is back and in our hands, what's the one thing that you're like this has to either come back or be a feature?
Organized play is the biggest thing in my
Yeah.
opinion. I feel like organized play is the most important thing. I would also like to see like engagement between like content creators, like because obviously, I guarantee Chaotic comes back, we're gonna have a massive influx of content creators. That's why I'm trying to get like the ones we have now, like all like together. But like like
Yeah.
once Chaotic comes back, there's gonna be a massive influx of content creators, and I feel like supporting those creators is gonna be crucial to not necessarily the game's survival, but to the game's activity because a lot of people whenever they play a game they tune into content creators, hear their thoughts, hear what they have to say about the show or the series, and they go, okay, well this is an opinion that I can form around it. Like they stay educated. So I feel like more support towards the content creators is going to be like crucial too. Not necessarily
Mhm.
like oh we're going to do dev Q&As and stuff like that, but like maybe like a maybe Red does a card reveal for the new set kind of thing. Like maybe I feel like that, or simply like there's an open dialogue between the content creators and the game devs, so that like if community members are talking about one thing, then like those can be brought directly, that kind of thing. I think that's
I
super
feel like
important too.
I feel like that's definitely a step in the right direction. I feel like if you have these people that are like engaging your community, if you make an announcement, I feel like having that pitched to those content creators, that's a really important thing to have. Because if you don't have something like that, that could be rough.
Yeah,
That could be rough, especially if there's no frame of reference for players to use.
yeah. I I feel like sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, no, I feel like content creators can definitely be the segue between or the gateway between the devs and stuff like that, right? Because like I mean like I mean, I read everything. If there's something's going on the Reddit, I read it to see if like there's any feedback or anything like that like I can take into consideration when making content or anything like that. I read every single comment in my comment section. Sometimes they're very long and it takes me a while because I am dyslexic as can be.
Yeah.
but
Right.
but yeah, but I mean, I feel like content creators can definitely be yeah a, yeah a go between.
I feel like that and the reprints. I think reprints, at least in terms of like the game is concerned, reprints I think are going to be like the key
Yeah, I mean,
to getting more butts.
I was talking to one of my friends about like I was like I want to get a Primal Smash, but like it's so expensive, and he was like, I have a Primal Smash, I can just trade it to you or give it to you, and I was like, look up the price of Primal Smash, and he did, and he was like, never mind. I was like, I shouldn't have said anything.
One of those where it's like my own kindness with my hubris.
Why did I do this? I only hurt myself.
Why did I ruin everything I touched?
I could have just kept my mouth shut.
And
Yeah.
you know, that's okay.
At least I'm a good friend.
You know what? I was just fixing to say, at least you know, like, what it is you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, at least I'm not going like, oh yeah, sure, and then I find out like, like a week later that it's $250, like, and I'm like, I'm not gonna tell him.
Or some whatever insane bullshit.
He's never gonna know.
No.
It's
And that's okay.
It's only a $5 super. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, it's like a.
Yeah.
But I think reprints are def 100% it. I literally the day we're recording this, I released the video, and you were telling me before we started recording this that you also had planned on doing a reprint video too.
Yeah, and like the minute I saw that you uploaded it, I was like, God, dude!
You just gotta upload it faster. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I know. I just gotta beat you to the punch somehow.
Yeah, no, I hacked your brain, and so I know your ideas. And then since I have free time, I made the video first.
Yeah, and you ate all my Takis noms.
Yeah, it
Oh my
was such.
funny.
It was so good. I saw Takis on the shelf at a store, and I was like, Taki Snom. And I was like, oh great, now this is stuck in my head.
Yeah.
And it didn't go away until I made the picture. And everybody loved it. People who hate me loved it. And I was like, this feels good.
I guess for me, it's like I only have one last little thing to say, which is like the unfortunate canceled Chaotic comic that was gonna come out. I want that back. I want the Chaotic comics, man.
I would read them. I'd buy them. 100%. 100%.
Yeah,
I don't
there's
even like
no
comics.
way you could ever get me to not like pick that up.
I don't even like comics. I'd buy them. 100%. 100%.
I mean, I'm a comics junkie, so maybe I'm like the guy to like. I don't know. I don't know.
It's not that I don't like comics. It's that they're flimsy. Like that's my issue. Is like
Sure, like the paper printing and all that.
yeah, because I mean like I love books because I mean like I just started rereading the Inheritance Saga. So I love books, but it's like comics are
There you
just
go.
too flimsy. Like this isn't going to. I'm not gonna have to worry about like this having like irreversible bins if I do this kind of thing.
Right. I mean, like soon you'll be able to read Powerline Ultra books. I expect you to read that.
I got nothing but time.
Hell yeah, that's my boy.
100%.
That a boy.
We gotta find a day to like sit down and like for you to actually teach me Powerline Ultra because like
Gladly.
I've been trying to learn it for like a year and a half, and it's just like every time I'm like, oh, I have free time, something happens immediately after I say that.
You know, life gets in the way like that.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. I just had to move like 2 weeks ago, like out of the blue, and I was like, oh, this is great. Life be like
Yeah.
that. Life be like that. So, what do you want for the revival of Chaotic? You asked me. What do you want?
I mean, outside of having, the organized play, things like that, I sincerely hope that one thing that I feel is as though will help chaotic in the long run is accessibility. If you make not don't just start off with two decks and the set. I I've always been of the opinion that with a card game, sure it's nice to have your own deck, but a way to really get people into it is like two-player starter sets. So what if like you did an Overworld Underworld two-player set, a Danian Mepedian starter set, or a Overworld Danian two set, or an Overworld Mepedian? There's so many things you could do with this, and you could twist and turn it in so many ways. You can make this work, and it can work. It just needs to be done.
And it makes sense in lore too. Like I mean, like obviously overworlders and underworlders fight all the time, but it's something a lot of other people don't realize is like overworlders hate Mepedians, like hate Mepedians, and then like Danians and underworlders do not get along.
I mean, I've always heard like the opposite,
Really?
where it's like Underworlds and Danians they hung out. But
I heard that's what I heard was underworld and oh
well, either way, have like allies. That'd be cool.
yeah, an ally set
I
would be
feel
really
like
cool.
having, yeah, I
Or
feel like having
dual tribes,
more ways to get.
Mepedians and Danians team up, and then overworlders and underworlders in the other deck, and like have like cool gimmicks between
Yeah.
the two. That'd be cool too.
No, 1,000%. Because I can't help but go like, there's so many outlets that you could have people try out your game. Because the more here's how I have learned from all this, and I'm applying it to Powerline. Unfortunately, at this stage, but at the same time, what can you do? But I'm happy that I'm doing it anyway. Is why in the world would you ever create something and make it inaccessible? That's counterintuitive. If you put a lot of resources to making at least decks available to pick up, that's going to incentivize people to pick it up. And the more butts you can get in the game, especially if you do like a two-player set, the better off you are because you have a chance of making that a repeat customer. Because your first impression is always going to be the one you really want to do. So why not have like the starter decks have like even alternate arts too? That would be really cool. Like if you had Maxor, but in like a two-player set or something, and it has Maxor, it has like this pimped out art that you can only get with this. Does it make it common because it's printed and everything? Sure. But is it accessible? Yes. So I think in the long run, accessibility is going to save chaotic.
Yeah, I think so too.
And that's what I want to do.
I think that's a huge argument a lot of people have been making for proxies, but I don't think a lot of people have even thought about like I know I personally didn't even think about two-player sets. Like that's just not a thought that comes to mind whenever I'm like accessibility. I'm like reprints because it's like what usually makes a game accessible. But I mean, two-player sets would definitely make a game accessible. Uh,
Oh, 100%. And it was a lesson that I borrowed for my game. And there's a reason why, like my first event, I sold out in 35 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I just got somebody to reach out to me, and they wanted to send me a content creator kit for their card game, and the only reason I responded was because they said that they had a two-player starter kit, and I was like, okay, yeah, this definitely seems like somebody like who wants new players, like more players, and I was like, I'll do that because normally whenever somebody reaches out to me about their card game, I'm like, I'm interested, but it's like. I can't add more card games to the plate. I can't add more to it, but it's like this one in particular was like we were like two-player starter kits. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm down. I'm down to look this in. And I sat down with my play group and I looked into like all the rules and stuff like that. And we were like, oh, this seems really cool. There's a mechanic some of them don't like, but I mean, other than that, they were like, this seems really cool. Like, yeah, whenever the starter kits drop, we'll definitely be grabbing them. And I was like, yeah, this is great.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like the two-player starter kits are like a good way to introduce people into the game, especially if they're affordable. I mean, like if you're releasing a two-player starter kit, it's like $60. Then I mean, like better be coming
Yeah.
with playmats.
And that accessibility price tag it does play a part of accessibility. Like for not to keep, tooting my own horn, but like no matter what, the super pimped out singular decks versus like the two-player star sets for my game, both are 11.99 every single time.
Yeah, and I mean, Chaotic when it first came out, their starter decks was $15, right?
Yeah.
Obviously nowadays you can't expect that kind of pricing. Like like inflation been going through the roof, and like tariffs and everything like that. You can't like
Right.
uncertain tariffs, so you can't expect that kind of pricing. But it's like, but I mean, like Chaotic has always seemed like one of those games that cares about the affordability of the aspect outside of the secondary market. Because I mean, like booster boxes were like $80 back then, right?
Yeah, especially at the time too.
Yeah,
And like packs were like, do you remember when packs were $3?
dude. Yeah, no, I see. I still to this day I hear somebody go $7 for a booster pack, and I'm like, it was just 5. And then you have like Magic the Gathering right now. Final Fantasy booster packs are going for $120 for one pack. One pack.
And it's insane.
Yeah. I'm like, what happened to accessibility? What happened to affordability? What is going on? I'm like, this is
Yeah,
absolutely
I mean that's
ridiculous.
why like for me, there's never going to be a universe in which I'll ever sell a power line pack more than $7, only because of like either shipping or I got a small allocation or things like that. Allocations are like the only thing I can think of where it's like, okay, you got to make your cost back for that, whatever. There's no excuse
Yeah.
to sell like a pack for like $100. Like, give me a break, dude.
Yeah. I mean, like, Wizards was selling them for 50. Retailers were buying them for 70. And then they were selling them
Yeah,
for 120. And I was like, and then on the like secondary market, there's some for 120. I'm just like, that's just ridiculous.
it's insane.
It really is insane. Like, and then like the situation with Pokemon. I don't know if you pay attention to other games.
Oh, that's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, like the one thing I'm most worried about Chaotic Survival before we wrap up this whole thing, because we've been going for about like 2 hours now. The one thing I'm most worried about
Yeah.
for Chaotic Survival is scalpers. How many scalpers are gonna know about Chaotic, are gonna remember about Chaotic, and then they're just gonna buy up all the product?
Well, I don't know if that maybe this is like a good point to like bring up too. I have an online store and it is going to be an official storefront for Chaotic. So if people are like, I want to get Chaotic at an affordable price, go to my shop. I will net. I cannot stand the idea of scalping. That it
Wait,
does not make sense to me.
which it is linked in the description down below, guys. So if you guys want to check out Hard Rock Studios, it is linked in this description down below. He has officially licensed merchandise with the shirts. I mean, he's wearing one right now. If you wanna show
Black or purple? I'm gonna black or purple. What lipstick am I wearing when we make out later?
that. But he has a wide selection of chaotic cards too. You just added some more to it a couple days ago, right? About a week ago.
I also added some shirts.
Yeah,
So
I mean, and the shirts look pretty high quality too. And then you
thank
also
you.
have some hats, which is what I'm most interested in because I kind of have a receding hairline. Apparently, didn't know that until I cut my hair.
I mean, I got like a 7 head dog.
Yeah, but like mine is like barely there, and it's like it stands out because it's barely there. It drives me crazy.
It's okay. We work on it together.
I'm sad. I used to have long,
That's
luxurious
okay.
hair. But sorry.
That's okay. You're handsome anyway.
Oh, thank you. You are too. Yeah, we're gonna end this so we can cut to the better. No, but
My only scans is linked down below, everybody.
but yeah, the link to his store is linked down below. Like he said, he's gonna be an official store. I think Bulba's also been confirmed to become an official store too. Um,
Yeah.
so there's also Bulba's store. He has a different kind of set of collection too. I mean, both of them do. But I mean, if you guys are looking for merch like shirts, hats, go to Hard Rock Studios because that's the way to go. That's the way to go about go get your chaotic merch. I know a
And
lot.
also good singles at an affordable price. I'm not gonna sell you a heptad for like $500.
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
I was looking at some of the cards on your list, and I was like, okay, so they're like $15 here, and they're like $30 on eBay. I was like, it's a no brainer. It's an absolute no brainer.
Huh.
Like
you heard it here first, folks.
like very very good seller, very good seller.
Thank you.
Now about that check you said you were gonna cut me for running your store.
Oh, don't you worry. I got the pen right here.
All right, cool.
Done. Right under the desk.
That was a joke. That was a joke, guys. That was a joke. He's not actually paying me for promoting his store. I do have to
No.
legally disclose it if he is, and he is not. That was a joke. But
Thanks for the plug.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, we need to support the people who are supporting the community. I mean, like, there's sellers like you and Bulba who have like you, Bulba, and Rudd. Rudd's collection like his selection tends to be like a lot smaller on his website. Really, mostly just the high.
Smaller, but my God, is his selection insane?
Yeah, I mean, uncut sheets, PSA 10 graded cards, like, absolutely insane collection over there on Rudd's. But it's like, you guys are the ones that are uplifting, you're enabling the community to play the game. Obviously there's eBay sellers like Clarice, there's Big Guy, he's a good seller too. But I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, like, you guys are the names of the vendors for Chaotic. I mean, it's like, whenever I think I need to buy Chaotic cards, I think Bulba, and then if he doesn't have it, I think Hard Rock. Like, that's the way that I, like, think.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, like, again, like, Rudd's selection tends to be the higher dollar stuff, and I hardly ever need the higher dollar stuff. Like, I just made an
If you
entire
want cool
video.
collector stuff, go to Rudd. If you want to get cards outright, me and Bulba. If you want merch, you come to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, Bulba has a wider selection of playmats, but like, that's about all he's got.
Well, thankfully, playmats are coming on my end of the thing, on my end of the spectrum, so that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I need to look into replacing my playmat as it is, because like, I've had a faded Underworld City playmat for like the last 3 years, and I'm like, it's so faded.
I mean, the playmat that my laptop is sitting on right now is Underworld City.
It is the best playmat when it comes to Chaotic cards. That's all I'm saying. Like,
fantastic.
Like, maybe Chaor the Fierce rivals it. I was torn between those two whenever I was like.
My main one that's right over here.
Exactly. Like, those are the two best ones. I didn't even know that. That was like, I had no idea about that.
Well, you know now.
Well, it turns out that Hardreich and I are in sync, like, entirely.
Wait till you find out what happens behind closed cameras.
Whoa. They gotta pay for that.
Only scans, guys. Only scans.
Only scans.
Protect your codes. Listen, I got the wraps right here. Right here.
I'm so glad when I opened my eyes, those are not what I was thinking it was gonna be.
It ain't a pranker tanker, everyone. It ain't that Trojan horse.
Okay, before this gets any more unhinged, let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Good night, everybody.
So, Codemaster Hard Rock, everybody. Is there anything you want to plug before you wrap this up other than your merch store?
Play Powerline Ultra. I have a card game that I created called Powerline Ultra. It's based on fighting games. Go check that out, and stay tuned for my next release, which is Battle Frame, the card game. And it's... If you guys like Nanivore and Chaotic, you're going to love it.
I knew one of those things.
There we go.
But
Better
yeah,
than zero of those things.
But yeah, I have been Jay Johnny. You're supposed to say who you are.
Oh, I am. He's Jay Johnny. I'm Codemaster Hard Rock, the not voice of reason.
And this has been Perim's Underworld. I'll see you in Chaotic, so let's port to Perim.